Namaskar. This is Y.S. Raut from Gandhinagar, Gujarat. I am going to talk on the coastal sites, possible port towns of Harappan time in Gujarat. As you know, Gujarat has been on the western coast of India, and it, from the time immemorial, its coast has been an important threshold to India for voyager, mariners, and traders coming to the country. This Gujarat is dotted with so many Indus Valley civilization, and there are more than 650 sites in the different part of Gujarat, the Saurashtra region, Kutch, and the North Gujarat. Being on the Arabian coast, it has got some advantage for the maritime trade since the prehistoric times, protohistoric times for that matter. And as you know, Indus Valley civilization was one of the four great civilizations of the old world. And Mesopotamia, Egypt, and China, Yellow River civilization are other three. The Harappan script, which we see on seals, ceilings, and other objects, is yet to be deciphered, and that is will solve all the disputes and all the mystery of the civilization in future, I hope. Urban phase began around 2600 BC and continued until around 1900 BC. That was followed by the late Harappan culture in the state, and finally the Harappan or the late Harappan uh, deserted the sites around 1600 and 1500 BC. As you know, there are more than 2,000 settlements in India and Pakistan explored by the archaeologists of both the countries. And in Gujarat, there are 650 sites. This is the distribution of the Harappan sites along the actually major river valley, that the Indus and the Ravi, and in the North India it is Saraswati and Viswavati. But in Gujarat, being a semi-arid region, there is no major river except in the South Gujarat. But the region was very good for the minerals and the sea resources, and that's why the Gujarat region was major attraction for the Indus Valley civilizations people, and it was well connected with the other sites through cultural contact and trade routes. The cultural composition of the Harappan civilization may be compared with the present day society of the Indian subcontinent, showing regional diversity. Then this you can see the whole of the Gujarat is dotted with so many sites. What you are seeing, that is the composite picture showing all sort of sites from the early Harappan to mature and late Harappan sites. But the most of the interesting part of this is that the major sites are along the sea coast, the waterways. This is the Gulf of Kutch, and there are the sites along the Gulf of Kutch, and you can see the sites along the Arabian coast. And then this is the Great Run of Kutch, along the Great Run of Kutch, and along the Little Run of Kutch. And it is felt, or it is actually the geographical feature indicate that during the Harappan time, the Kutch and Saurashtra were island, because the Arabian Sea was entering to the inner area through the Great Run of Kutch and Little, and then separating the Saurashtra by linking the Gulf of Khammat. That's why Lothal was on this creek, which was actually connecting Little Run of Kutch and the Khammat region. This is the Harappan, as you know, they were the great traders and maritime uh, community. They are actually doing business with the the west, the Mesopotamian region, the Persian Gulf region particularly, and had trade link with the Oman, Bahrain, and Mesopotamia. And several sites in those areas have yielded Harappan material. And this is the Kutch. Kutch region is the nearest, actually, the region which has a major share of trade with those regions, and that I am going to tell you in the next slides. And this is the actually maritime trade between Indus and Persian Gulf region. During the second half of the third millennium BC, Indus-Mesopotamia relation developed and continued until the decline of the Harappan civilization around 1900 BC. Indus seals depicting sea-going vessels also show depiction of land finding birds, that is known as Disakar, and these seals are datable to 2500 to 1900 BC. Lothal, a port town of Indus time, has yielded seals of Persian Gulf area, whereas several Indus seals with Harappan script have also been found in Mesopotamia, particularly in Ur, Babylon, Kis, and also from the site in Oman, Bahrain. Akkadian inscription record that timber, carnelian, ivory, and some birds, animals, they were being imported from Maluha. The East Carnelian bead was in very much demand and have been found from the royal cemetery during the first dynasty of the Ur, were probably imported from the Indus Valley region. Inscription of the Sargon of Akkad, dated around 2334 BCE to 2279 BC, record that the ship from Meluha, the ship from Magan, the ship from Dilban, they make tie-up alongside the quay of Akkad. These are the three regions. They were around in the neighborhood of the this Akkadian empire. That Meluha is considered to be the Indus Valley region, and the Magan is considered that Oman, and Dilman as the Bahrain. And now we come to the Gujarat region. Gujarat, as you are seeing today, is a semi-arid zone. The Rann is actually a vast waste of the salt. This is the actually marshy land and become the white sheet of the salt during the summer. And once it was the part of the Arabian Sea, through the Kori Creek, the water was entering to this, and then surrounding the Kutch and the Saurashtra boundary with the mainland Gujarat, it was connecting the Gulf of Kutch, thus making the Saurashtra and Kutch as the two islands in the sea, amidst the sea. And then there are other indicators. Actually, they had actually maritime trade with the outside the world, India. This is one of the pottery which we call the black slip jar. It has got a pointed base, and then there are the rim, very narrow rim, having some letters also, marks also, and it is known also as the black slip jar, and it has been reported from the Oman and many coastal sites of the Gujarat, like Dholavira, Sikarpur, Bagsara, and so many other sites. And the finding of this pottery, this ceramic in the Oman and the Mesopotamian region indicate that there was definitely a maritime trade between the two regions. And this pottery has been actually found in most of the Oman sites, the Harappan red slip pottery and this chocolate slip jar. And this was the method of the exporting and carrying the jar in a boat, because there is a stand actually was prepared, especially a perforated base at the base of the boat, and then they were fixed in that. All the pointed end was fixed in that plank, and that way the fluid material was being exported to India or from India to the Mesopotamian region. And the black slate jar is vessel meant for transportation of traded goods, especially overseas. The presence of this pottery suggests that Harappan transportation and trade at the site. These are some indicator and the evidence that there was a definite maritime link between the countries of the Mesopotamian region and the Indus Valley region, including Gujarat. Now we come to the side. Actually, I have actually been to Gujarat since last 36 years and explored most of the area of the Gujarat, particularly the Ran, Kutch and Saurashtra region. And during that those times in exploration, I noticed that most of the fortified settlement, well actually planned settlement, are along the shore of the either Great Ran of Kutch or Little Ran of Kutch or the Gulf of Kutch or the Arabian Sea has not that much the systematically laid out cities except the Lothal near the Khambar. And this is the Lothal which was discovered in 1955, 53 and then excavated. And this is the overall planning of the site. And this is the aerial view when the excavation was started in 1955, 62. And then this yielded the actually one dockyard, a huge structure to the east of the settlement. That is about some 716 feet long and 37 or 210 meter wide. And the excavator believed this is a dock yard which is actually just to and for the anchoring of the small boat inside the town, and just to this adjacent to the dockyard has been found a warehouse where the cargoes are actually disembarked, and then some Persian Gulf seal also has been reported from this site. And the site was linked with that channel I was talking about, Little Ran to Khambar, that now it is a Bhogao river. It actually falls in the north of the site. And now it is all the agricultural field there. Only in rainy season, the whole area is actually inundated and flooded. And it is difficult to reach there. And that also indicates that it was some sort of a port on the a creek which was connecting the Gulf of Khambar in the east and the Little Ran of Kutch in the west. This is the dock, and then we have got the wharf, and then there is a warehouse where they have found some 63 terracotta ceiling when opening parcels in the warehouse. These were actually broken pieces were there, and the archaeologists recovered those during the excavation. And this one, a small terracotta boat also have been reported from the site, and some anchors, some rounded stone pieces with perforation are also still lying there in the dock, in the along the western wall of the dock. Then this is the warehouse, the Lothal, and the dock in the east. And from here, the ceilings, broken ceilings have been reported. And that is one of the indicators that the cargo were disembarked and stored here for some time, and then it was distributed to different area, most probably. And these are the other Acropolis region and then the warehouse. These are some structure available today. And this was actually the artistic reconstruction of the Lothal port. This is the Acropolis area, the large building with the warehouse in the south, and then in the the dock in the east, and then this is the Bhugao River, which are connecting to the Gulf of Khambat, and the channel was actually brought to this dockyard, and there is again the outlet with the doorway to control the water level. These are the more important things. Then another site actually which has been recognized as the port, that is the Puntasi. It was excavated by the Deccan College under the direction of Professor Dhaulikar. And this is again a small site, and there are some indication of the ramp here, just to anchor the boat. And they have actually found some tower, a watch tower, and some platform, a sort of warehouse in the Puntasi region. And this actually, it is again on the bank of a river, a small river, which is connected with the Gulf of Kutch in the west. And today, the site is very close to the Navlakha port. The Navlakha port is one of the largest port in Gujarat today, and built some 1.5 century back. And this is just close to that. That way, actually, Professor Dhaulikar has found some maritime fauna also here, and the indicator of the ramp, tower, and platform led him to surmise that this was a port of the Harappan time. And all these, interestingly, actually, I have gone through to the site, and actually, based on their topography, the sea level, the height from the main sea level, and the planning, the fortified planning, I could actually make conclusion that these are all the port town of the Harappan time, and it is not necessary that you require a dock for all sort of port. Even today, along the sea coast, there are so many small towns without any dockyard. You require some sort of ramp or anchoring beach. That is the requirement for the a port town. And most of the Indian port town, the small or the medium-sized ports of the India, are also without any dockyard like Lothal. That's why there is no need of that. But the connection with the main sea is always there in all the sites. They are just, this is the actually about 5 kilometers from the Gulf of Kutch, this site. Similarly, there are other sites which are actually just close to the run. This is the Bagsara, again 10 kilometer or 15 kilometer further northeast of the Puntasi, excavated by Deccan with this MS University of Baroda in 80s. And they have, this is a small 2-hectare site, and there is a 7-meter deposit. And this ground level, actually, this is the just 50 centimeter above of the run level. This is the run, and these are the south one, and the site is somewhere here in this region, the south of this. You can just think of that during the Harappan time, the run could have actually entered to this site, very close to the sites, and then that's why the possibility of a port town is much more. And these actually sites were very good trade center, and they were producing a lot of material, which was actually the main item for the export of the Gujarat people or the Hadappans of Gujarat. And that you can see, this is the site actually. This is the main Gulf of Kutch channel today. And there are so many channels actually coming to close to the sites. This is one of the channels, and this is actually ending here. This is the site, small mound here. And then there are so many salt pen even today. and this is even a coastal site, and this is the actually fortified area where they have found lot of the actually workshop, a cell workshop, faience workshop, and there are the other beads and the pottery kilns and copper working outside the fortified area. And this side actually, the almost all the site actually along the coast are showing the urban phase, and then post-urban phase. It has got phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and phase 4 is the actually late Harappan. But these three phases, actually this is from mature Harappan, you see the actually increase of the Sorat element in the phase 2 and then in the phase 3. That is the actually how the city is growing. Some of the mature people or the people from the developed area like Sindh and other region, they are coming in the Gujarat and establishing a settlement, and then starting the industry with their knowledge of the technology, and then they are followed by the local people like the Surat people in the particularly in Kutch region. Finally, in the phase 3, the most of the cities are taken over by these Surat peoples, and then these are the items actually found at this Vagsara. Hundreds of the faience bead, they are manufacturing here itself, and these are all they are actually stockpiling different kind of semi-precious stone, and lot of such things has been found in this small site. You can see this is the stone for bead making. This is the hematite actually chart. A lot of this, the provenance of this material has not been actually established till date. And then we have got so many finished goods from this side, the very small side, but fully engaged in the industrial or this kind of product. And these are the works, cell stockpile of cell from the site, thousands of actually bangle, circlets, and there are the grinding stone and all sort of the industrial requirements are there. So these are the actually the things they are producing at this such a small site, which is well protected by the fortification and very close to the waterway. And this is again another site just across the run, and it is again 12-13 kilometers from the Kuntasi. Kuntasi is in the west region, and this is the small mound here. This is known as Balmia Timbo, and this is the national highway leading to the Bhuj, and here in mainland Gujarat. And their site is here, a small site. These are very small, 100 feet, 100 meter by 60 or 80 meter in dimension. And this is the site, and a small this rivulet is connecting the site with the Gulf of Kutch. This is presently the Gulf of Kutch. It is actually narrowed down by the all industrial salt manufacturing units, and the width of or the volume of water is very less. But even then, during the protestive time, it was well connected with this Gulf, and the height of the mound from the Gulf is only 5 to 6 meter high. The altitude from the main Gulf level to this. This is also well connected with the waterway. That is the region that we call these are the 4 towns. This is the waterway. This is the site here, and this is the river. This one is the actually river going to meet the Gulf of Kutch. And this is the small. You can see the depression in between, and this is the fortified area. This one. It has got also a inner area, inner fortification, and then there is a outer fortification all around it. And this is also again a site engaged in industrial activity and yielded so many things. This is this Gulf here, and this is the river actually going linked to the sites. And this is these are all this fortification here. They have found the MSPC of Baroda excavated this site. And then this one fortification. This is another fortification. This is the another one, and this is the main site. And then there is the all around there is the outer fortification. These are the center open courtyard, and this is the fortification. You can see the plastered face of the fortification, and this was actually widened the time to time. This is the main inner core, and then this is the addition from the outside. This way they were actually protecting their thing, and these are the structure found at the site. So many phases again like the Bakshara, we have got 3 phases, and similar actually succession of culture showing and similar material also. And then this is the all phase actually, urban phase, phase 1 and 2 classical, and then late Surat Hadappan, like Bakshara 4 phase and Rangpur. These are all the technical things. So these are actually similar sequence which we have noticed at the Bakshara. It is also available here. And then these are the actually the material found from here. Lot of the ceilings. These are the broken pieces of the terracotta with the stamp of seal. That also indicating that a lot of the parcels and cargo is coming to the site, which are actually opened here. That's why the ceilings are broken. The seals are broken, and they are lying here and there. And then we have got the statite pendants and some weight also. The Hadappan weights, cubical weights made of chert. All standard Hadappan items are available there also. And then again, this is the drill bit actually. This is the specialty of the Kutch region. This is the material has not been identified geologically, but it has been termed as the Ernestite. After the Ernest Mackay by the American archaeologist. And these are the actually main this drill bit is actually still not known what is the material and what is the source of this material, but mostly it has been found in the Kutch region only. And that indicate that Kutchi people had monopoly of the producing these long beads, or they were exporting these drill bits also. But in Mohenjo-daro only 3 beats are reported. Such bits are reported from Mohenjo-daro, these drill bits. But in Kutch there are hundreds of such drill bit available. At Dholavira there are more than 1,000, I think. And these are the beads available from the Shikarpur. Then these are you can see all the product of the Shikarpur region. And why this actually along the coast you have got a small fortified town with such industrial units which are engaged in actually getting this raw material from the Ratanpur in the South Gujarat, the Mardak Island in the Little Run of Kutch, and then Aravalli region. That was the benefit of the actually the Gujarat region. It was very mineral rich actually region, and the Hadappan concentrated in this region only for such luxury items, and that's why it developed like anything. And then this is another specialty of Kutch region. This we call it reserve ware. This is also very well classical ware of the Kutch region. This also is very less in the Mohenjo-daro and Hadappa region, but many of such pieces have been reported from Iran. That is so shows that there was some certainly trade link with those regions. Then this is another site we excavated it in 2008 to 2012. This is a small mound in the village Kanmir. This is again the 15-kilometer east of the Shikarpur. This is actually the upper reaches of the Little Run of Kutch. And this there is a river flowing just north of it, and link. It is also again meeting the Little Run of Kutch at about 1.5 kilometer in the east. And this actually again indicates actually why it is the geographical location uh, indicate actually this was again a port or a small seaport used by the fishermen and the traders as well. Because in the Kutch, you go to any village, the people have tradition that in the just 100 year back or 200 year back, the boats were plying in such rivers. And there are many regions in Kutch. You can get that information even today that when the small boats were plying in those rivers. Here also, we have found the similar things, these items, these are the fortified settlement. Again, you can see that there are so many walls, stone walls like Dholavira. This is in Kutch actually you will find the stone building, the construction in stone. It is not in the actually Saurashtra. In Saurashtra also you have got rubble but not this kind of stone. And then in Kutch you have got full of the use of the stone. And that's why the sites are more preserved in Kutch than the other region of the Gujarat. This and these are the actually ceiling we found from the Karner. This is again a very interesting piece of antiquity with the hole. Somebody was hanging it on his neck, and then you see the similar the impression on the overs, and then some mark on the rivers. And we think these were some tokens or some sort of passport by a trading house, which was issued to different people. That's why there are different mark on the back of it. These are some interesting thing, antiquity from this site. And then again, all sort of the, the pottery with some Indus script, and then a small seal. This one, this seems to be as a small one. That Perpola identified is actually as as. And then these industrial activity again. We have got thousands of these steatite bead from one of the furnace. The, these shows actually how. And one another thing is actually this we have not got any the Harappan port activity or import activity or import item from the site. But this is the torpedo jar which we found actually in the historical uh, strata of the site. And this again comes from the Mesopotamian region in the uh, 3rd, 4th century AD. That is also one indicator that the site was actually during the historical time again had some trade relation with the outside the Gujarat, in the particularly in the Persian Gulf region. And then further east you go, this is about 20 kilometer northeast of the this Kanmir. We have got Surkotra again. Surkotra is actually again well-defined site with the two part, the upper citadel area and then residential complex with some open area. And there are so lot the entry from the this south side. The site is very well preserved even today. And then again this site is you can see the site is also available on the satellite map. This one. This is the actually small site here and near the village. And then here is a little run of Kutch. Again, the water body, that vast water body, the ancient sea. And this is about 6 kilometers from the site. And the excavator believe this is a very wide channel and during the Harappan time, and the run of that is also one indicator that this could have been also serving as a Harappan port. Then we come to Dholavira. This is the largest site of the Harappan, one of the five largest sites uncovered so far. And this is the rank fifth, actually fourth after the Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Rakhigadi, and then Ganeriwala is the fifth. And this site measures around about 771 meter east-west and 617 meter north-south. That is around 50 hectare area it covers, and it has encompassed three division, which are actually termed as Citadel, Middle Town, and Lower Town. That and the Citadel, Middle Town were further provided with separate fortification. It shows that actually they were more significant area of the town, and they were that's why further secured by the fortification, whereas the Lower Town was within the general fortification, that is the city wall. This is a well-planned water harvesting system was also created by the Dholavidyan, and that you can see here. This is the citadel mount, and then this is the arena that we call the stadium in between, and this is the middle town further going south north, and this eastern side we have got the lower town. And the citadel is actually separated from the all area from the middle town by this stadium, wide open area. Then in the east by the very large reservoir, a series of reservoirs. We are actually going from the east to south and then towards west. And the whole south and eastern area is actually protected by these water bodies, and the northern area by this stadia, and the western area by the bailey and the fortification, the outer fortification. That's why it is a well-planned town and seems to be actually of the Indus Valley, either by the Mohenjo-daro or Harappa. Then you can see these are the different the artificial member. And this is the citadel is furnished with the magnificent gate like the north gate. Then there is a east gate, there is a west gate, and a small south gate also. And this seems to be actually a ceremonial gate, the north gate, which is open actually, commanding the view of that this middle town in the north and the lower town the northeast. And then it has got a projected platform, a ramp like platform, which indicate that there a certain procession was taking place in this area from this open Rangbhumi or this area. And then this was actually excavated by us and found there so many arrangement for the putting some barricades and all these things. A series of post holes has been found in this open area, and the local people call this field actually Kotda Bazaar. That we don't know whether it is actually that remote memory they call it bazaar, or it is was some sort of bazaar was taking place there in the recent century ago. We don't know. Then these are the reservoir of the stepped reservoir, and we call them the prototype of the step wells of Gujarat. Means that memory is there. People again doing same thing. Then this is the port area north of the main city of the Dholavira. We call it Saran. Saran near the Dholavira. This is the Great Ran of Kutch. And there in the further north, there is the Pakistan border that side. And this is a small, actually, a small, what the monsoonal channel, this one. And then there is a perennial source of water. That's why it is Saran. Saran means sweet run, not the salt run, but sweet run. And most of the villager, when there is no water, they actually get some sort of water. Whether even that is brackish, but they use it. And there's close to the actually run, there is a small hillock. This small hillock is there, and there we have found a large structure here that maybe some sort of warehouse, and that is actually again provided some platform on this bank of this channel, and this actually seemed to be a suitable place actually just to anchor the small boat in this channel here actually, and that will save this actually from the wind and the other the monsoonal rain and all these things, and then they can actually they to anchor these boats here. That is the actually the locational actually importance of the Saran. Though we have not found any anchor or any items of the export or imported thing, but the location indicate that a very suitable place for the port, and that has been identified accordingly. And then this is the Saran here. Here. This is Saran here. This one, this is enlarged actually this area here. You can see the channel here and the warehouse here. And this is Dholavira here, and this quarry there is in between. There is the stone quarry with which where the major pillar elements of Dholavira were manufactured. And this is the Saran on the edge of the Great Rann of Kutch. That side is Pakistan, and this is the actually the structure. You can see the structure here, and this one. This structure is here. This is a bit small hillock actually, just about some 10 meter above the Rann, 6 meter above the Rann. And this is actually how this was actually there. This is the Rann, and this is the estuary coming this side. This is a small hillock. On the top, this is the warehouse sort of thing, which is actually connected with this channel, this Saran River, with these walls, and these platforms are there, the solid platforms, just to disembark the cargo here. That is the one indicator. Okay, that's why this was being used as a small port of the site. And then further, actually, you come to west towards the Kori Creek. We have got the Junikuran in the same line. This is the Junikuran here, and you go this way, you will reach Dholavira. And this is the last port on the Great Rann of Kutch, and then beyond that, this is the site here. You can see, and it has got the lot of the open spaces. Again, 2 division also. This site. The actual excavator has not actually identified it as a port, but this is my actually view that on the ground of its location, its fortified settlement, and proximity to the water body and the altitude from this level. Just hardly all the sites is just 4 to 5 meter high from this water body, this Great Rann of Kutch. And then it is again, there are so many Harappan items are available there. And then you can see in the Gulf of Kutch also, in the southern Kutch region, we have got Navi Naal also, another site, which is very close to the Mundra port of Adani. These are all indicated actually. Still today we have got the port nearby. Means we were suitable for the port activity even during the Harappan time. So this is the Mundra port now, just close to the Navi Naal village. This has yielded a lot of the Harappan material and of the microlith and all sort of thing. Finally, this is actually what we did actually some simulation of the sea level when we were working at Kanme. If this is the 1 meter above the water table, this will be situation actually. The Kutch will become the island. The water of the Arabian Sea will reach inside, and it will make it an island. If the water table is slightly higher, this channel will link the Gulf of Khambhat. These are the possibility actually. When it was the island, the most of the site on this Gulf of Kutch along the shore of Great Rann of Kutch and the Little Rann of Kutch up to the Lothal. This was a waterway. And then Dr. actually SRO say that this was the main route actually to the trade with the Mesopotamia, but I don't believe so, because this is the actually final conclusion that you can see these are the side Nageshwar, this Amra, Nakhamal, Kuntasi, Bagsara, Sitarpur, Kanmer, Surkutra, and then we have got Dholavira here, and then Junikuran here, and then finally Kori Creek, and you go to Makran Coast. This is the actually one problem here. This link. This is the Nal Sarovar, is still existing, and this Nal Sarovar can easily actually be linked to the Khambat. But in between there is just a small patch of land that it is still to be actually investigated, whether it is a later deposit or sometime during the Harappa it was a open. Then it will connect directly to the Dholavira, and this I have calculated the distance between Lothal to this Kori Creek here is actually 770 kilometers from Lothal to reach this point to Makran Coast. It will take, you have to cover 770 kilometers, that is about 414 nautical miles. This one. And again, on this coast, there is no major Harappan site. That is another difficulty for the cargo or the ship actually to cover this whole distance during those days. You require some halting place, but there are no actually major Harappan site along this Arabian Sea coast, only all late Harappan sites, the small sites. And the NIO Goa has actually done a lot of work in this region, but they could not find any mature Harappan site. That there is no contemporary site of Lothal along this coast. Then that is actually difficult to actually believe that they were actually just using this deep sea route. But if it was open, that I think this was open, most of the scientists also believe that it was open, it was the arm of the sea, then from this to this region, it is only 480 kilometers. It means there is 300 kilometers short. This region is, this route is 300 kilometers short than this route. And this cover all of the sites actually from this route, the marine route from this Nageshwar to this Gulf, and Gulf to Little Lord to Dholavira, and Dholavira to Junipura to this route. This make it very short and very easy route also, and very safe. Actually, it is within the land mass, and then there is not so, because the Hadappans are flying along the shore, actually shore, not in the deep sea. This seems to be very suitable route for them. That is my conclusion. And there are so many other sites also along the coast. There are 44 other sites of the late period on this eastern coast also here. That indicate actually this was very active maritime route during the Harappan time, and the Dholavira was controlling the all sort of trade with the Mesopotamian region, because this seems to be the actually the controlling authority of the whole of the Gujarat region, collecting the raw material, producing the finished good through the small settlement, all fortified, and getting the raw material from the Ran. This region, actually Ratanpur in the Bharuch region is famous for the agate and carnelian and the chert, silicious material. This is the major source of the semi-precious stone. That seems to actually, because of that, the trade was flourishing in Gujarat, and Gujarat was playing the major role through the small port in the international trade of that time. Thank you.